these comics are out of print. Green Goblin Norman Osborn has been dead since the 70s. Harry is technically the Green Goblin, and he's going to be bitching about his dad a lot. So you're going to need to know what's going on. How will you know that without access to like the original copies, because we're not making facsimile editions, and trade paperbacks are still kind of new? Well, you pick up an annual that says on the cover, plus the origin of the Green Goblin, you're like, well, this is great. Now I can know the origin of the Green Goblin. And so in a entertaining fashion, they give you a Wikipedia article where they're like, this is the origin. This is the story from the perspective of Harry. You know, this is like how Harry got roped up in Norman's shenanigans, how Norman became the Green Goblin, how Gwen was involved, how he died, how Harry
got his
it.
goblin back.
Right. How many goblins there have been, because like many people forget. They're like, oh, Green Goblin, right. Norman Osborn, Harry Osborn, and then Norman again. No. Between Norman and Harry is Bart Hamilton, Harry's psychiatrist, who also becomes the Green Goblin.
He's a bad psychiatrist.
And hey, while you're also learning about that, there's hobgoblins involved. And so while you're learning about the Green Goblin, you learn about the Hobgoblin, and here's a backup telling you the story of the Hobgoblin and how it's definitely Ned Leeds and will never be anybody else.
Yeah, you learn the wrong version of the Hobgoblin story.
But it's like really helpful to get this information until retcons. But
no, it's also really great. So now let's do all the rest of the characters. I want to see Rhino in this story. I want to see Dr. Octopus.
Yeah.
I want to see Kingpin. I want to see Mary Jane. I want to see Aunt May. I want to see J. Jonah Jameson.
Well,
no, put them all in there. It's one annual.
Well, I mean, like, they do all appear in this annual. I mean, at least Aunt May does.
No, I want the backgrounds. I want backgrounds on all of them.
Well,
give me a dossier.
The annuals are
that thick.
The annuals are only 64 pages. You know, you're gonna have to pick up the next annual.
You got to pick and choose. Yeah. But like characters who are going to become important or are important right now, you might get highlighted.
Here's the thing: they're doing things in the books, and we want to give you a background on what their their story was.
It's like it's like an extension of what they're doing in every issue, where there's like characters explaining their backstory for like the umpteen millionth time.
Yes.
We're telling you about what happened in the last issue. We're telling you about the Kingpin. He's the Kingpin of crime. He's the guy I always like. They're always repeating. Like like you're picking up bits and pieces of the lore in every issue.
Yeah.
And if you read enough, eventually you'll accumulate
that knowledge.
All of it.
But if you miss those or you are selective in your reading, annuals are a good way to fill in those gaps.
Yeah.
And the annuals also, back then at least, used to tell you the issues they happened in. So if you really need to know more, you could find out.
It gives you a way to look up, let me go check.
All the Marvel Masterpiece trading cards from 1992.
That's right, and they are great.
This is the only stuff I have relevant to the channel from my childhood.